This guy says the horse can do. If he says the horse
Welcome
can
to Odds and
do.
Ends, and it's week 2 of the National Football League. It began Thursday with the big Browns win over the Cincinnati Bengals, 35-30, featuring two first-pick quarterbacks going at it, Baker Mayfield and Joe Burrow of LSU. Well, the story for the Browns was not the quarterback, but it was Nick Chubb, 22 carries, 124 yards, and Kareem Hunt, 10 carries, 86 yards for an 8.6 yards per carry average. What a great job running the football by Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns. Joe Burrow threw it 61 times for 316 yards and 3 TDs, but the Bengals started out the season 0-2, and the Browns got back to even at 1-1. Well, the NFL turned 100 years old this week. There's been 15,770 regular season games to this point. There's 78 franchises. 60 cities have had NFL franchises. There's been 467 head coaches. I know one of them. And 187 venues, soon to be 188 venues when the Raiders play at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada on Monday night. Well, week 1, there were 87 touchdowns scored, the most ever in week 1 of the National Football League. Some quarterbacks that really got after it and did a great job. Of course, Lamar Jackson, last year's MVP, 20 for 25, 275 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Russell Wilson, what a great deep ball he throws, 31 of 35, 322 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Gardner Minshew, 19 of 20, 173 yards and 3 touchdowns. And don't forget about Aaron Rodgers. Everybody wrote off Aaron Rodgers. Well, he took it to my Vikings last week, 32 of 44, 364 yards and 4 TDs. Well, speaking of fantasy football, pickups and play-ems, I say this week you got to pick up tight end Jordan Reed for the 49ers. Tight end George Kittle is out against the Jets. I would also pick up Michael Thomas is out for the New Orleans Saints. They play the Raiders on Monday night. I'd pick up wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders for the Saints. And well, the Jets. The Jets are the Jets, but they have no running backs healthy. Le'Veon Bell out. LaMichael Perine out. So you got to pick up Frank Gore for the Jets, and hopefully they can run the ball a little bit against that vaunted 49er defense. But the key guy, I think, is Ty Hilton of the Colts, T.Y. Hilton. Wide receiver, 2 big drops late in the game last week for the Colts. I think he has pride. I think he bounces back and has a great game. T.Y. Hilton, for me, is the guy to pick up. If you got him on your bench, play him. If you can pick him up, pick him up. Well, listen, we'll be back in a minute when I go for 15, that's right, 15 pick of the weeks in a row with my NFL selections for week number 2. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back to Odds and Ends, and here's week 2. Here's 4 of my 5 picks this week, and I'll be back after these 4 picks with my pick of the week, going for 15 in a row. That's right, 15 in a row. I'm going to start out with a couple of 1 o'clock games. The Lions are at the Packers. The Packers are -6. The Lions have out cornerback Desmond Trufant, wide receiver Kenny Golladay, who is their best receiver. They also have 3 hamstring injuries and a groin injury. I know if I was a head coach, I'd be a little bit pissed off at the training staff, the strength staff right now. Adrian Peterson last week had 114 all-purpose yards. Aaron Rodgers, though, 4 touchdown passes versus the Vikes. Aaron Jones, 66 yards and a touchdown rushing. Wide receiver Devontae Adams, 14 catches, a career high, 156 yards and 2 TDs. And linebacker Zadarius Smith had another sack. He just keeps going. I like the Packers in this one, -6, playing at home at Lambeau Field. Another 1 o'clock game, those 49ers without their really good tight end, Kittle. -7 at the Jets. Garoppolo had a 259 yards passing last week. 2 touchdowns. Running back Raheem Mostert, 151 all-purpose scrimmage yards last week. Nick Bosa on defense. They are without Richard Sherman. He's been placed on IR. And D Ford's a little bit backed up. The Jets, 2 running backs out, or at least 2 running backs, 1 banged up. Frank Gore is up. But I got to like the 49ers on the road in New York or New Jersey, -7 in that one. 4:25 p.m. Eastern time game. The Chiefs, -8.5, go to the Chargers in L.A. Patrick Mahomes last Thursday coming off a 3-touchdown game. Running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 138 yards rushing and a TD. Quarterback for the Chargers, Tyrod Taylor, does nothing for me. And running back Eckler does nothing for me. I like the Chiefs in this one, -8.5 on the road. Monday Night Football. Saints -5.5 at the Raiders in the brand new Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Drew Brees, 2 touchdowns last week. Running back Alvin Kamara, 67 scrimmage yards. Wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders had his first TD catch as a Saint, which is important because Michael Thomas is out. Jared Cook led all receivers, 5 catches and 80 yards last week. And, of course, they have defensive end Cameron Jordan on defense. Running back Josh Jacobs, though, had 139 yards scrimmage last week, 3 rushing touchdowns, and tight end Darren Waller, had 6 catches. He's a beast. I still like the Saints on the road in this one, -5.5. Hey, I'll be back in a second going for 15. That's right, 15 in a row with my NFL pick of the week for week number 2.
Says the horse can do.
Welcome back to Odds and Ends, and now my pick of the week. The Patriots travel to Seattle. No 12th man. Cam Newton, 15 of 19 last week. 75 yards rushing on top of that in a big win over the Dolphins. The Seahawks are -4 at home. Russell Wilson, 4 touchdown passes. Running back Chris Carson, 66 scrimmage yards. Wide receiver Tyler Lockett, 8 catches, 92 yards. Wide receiver DK Metcalf, who I have on my fantasy football team, 4 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. Safety Jamal Adams, 12 tackles, a sack, and 2 tackles for loss. And, of course, they've got linebacker Bobby Wagner, no number 12. But I like the Seahawks at home in my pick of the week to go for 15 in a row in NFL week number 2. Well, listen, I hope all your teams win. I hope all your points are scored so you can cover the spread. But listen, I gave you my picks. I like the Seahawks in my pick of the week. I like those other 4 games that I selected. We'll talk to you next week on Odds and Ends with Mike Tice.
If he says the horse can do, can do, can do.